In case you missed it, the original Digimon Adventure storyline is continuing in 2023 with a completely original 02 story starring Davis, Vmon, Yuli, and that whole gang. Set after the events of 2020's Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna, next year we're getting a brand new feature film called Digimon Adventure 02 The Beginning. Giving the 02 crew their own dedicated film is quite the step up from the other continuation stories we've had in recent years. Shirai only let us see their defeated silhouettes and gave them no voice lines, then Last Evolution Kizuna featured them a decent amount as they advanced the B-plot, though that film was ultimately a Tai and Matt story. But now, if you've seen Last Evolution Kizuna, you'll know that we don't have to worry about Matt and Tai stealing the show yet again. I won't get into spoilers, but go watch that movie. This is going to be a story about the younger Digidestined team now in early adulthood and dealing with a mysterious Digivice holder who has showed up and claims to be the first human to ever partner with a Digimon. Thing is, this mysterious character, while cool looking, barely looks much older than our 02 cast, certainly no older than the original Adventure crew now are. And in the original series, we were told about a group of kids who entered the digital world before our team did, and we even met some of that first class in Digimon Tri with Daigo and Maki, so there'll definitely be some mystery reason why this new character, Rui Owada, looks to be no older than the Digidestined we're familiar with, but we don't yet know what's going on with him. This new character is now confirmed to be voiced by Megumi Ogata, a legendary Japanese voice actor who's well known for voicing Shinji Ikari in Evangelion, and more recently for voicing Yuta in the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. Having Ogata on the project certainly bodes well, as she is an extremely well-respected actor. Speaking of voice acting, we know that the majority of the Digimon's voices are returning more than 20 years after 02 aired to reprise their roles. So Vmon, Hawkmon, Wormmon, Armadillomon, Patamon, and Gatomon, they will all have the same voices from Digimon Adventure 02, which aired in Japan all the way back in the year 2000. The first 6 minutes of the film were released online at the end of July, and while I can't show you the entire video just unedited, I'll show you some screenshots now and provide commentary. One of the coolest things we saw in the film's opening were these casual but meaningful check-ins with some of the characters from the 02 World Tour arc. We see characters like the Poi brothers in Hong Kong with their Shakamon, Catherine and Floramon in France. Off the bat, these cool little nods to 02 canon let us know we're in safe hands, with these writers clearly having done their research and not just going off a vague memory of what made 02 special. Showing those characters so early reveals to us how intimately familiar the writers are with the material. We see the new kid Rui Owada holding a Digivice that looks cracked and lifeless, a lot like the ones we saw a couple characters holding in Last Evolution Kizuna. Again, no spoilers, but if you saw that movie, you might have an idea what that cracked Digivice means. Rui, as well as various Digidestined around the world, look up at an egg appearing just above Tokyo Tower. The egg looks an awful lot like what Parrotmon came out of in the original Digimon Adventure short, you know, the first part of the Digimon movie. We finally get a look at our 02 kids and hanging out in what appears to be Davis's ramen shop, or at least a ramen shop he works at. I love the vibe here. It's totally reminding me of Persona 5 with LeBlanc, the coffee and curry shop that served as the home base for the Phantom Thieves. The team is monitoring the situation on a TV in the shop when they see Rui climbing Tokyo Tower trying to reach the egg in the sky. They notice a Digivice on him and they head downtown. Stingmon appears and catches Rui, who just fell off the tower after losing his grip while climbing. Stingmon brings Rui down to the park where he's introduced to our 02 cast, and it's here where Rui Owada states that he is the first human to ever be partnered with a Digimon. And that's all we get in that 6-minute clip that was circulating online. The film is set to be released in Japan in 2023, but there's no official date yet, nor is there a release window for the rest of the world outside of Japan. Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna came out at the very start of 2020 in Japan and took a little while to come out in North America, arriving on home video in fall 2020. Not too long of a wait, but keep in mind the release was definitely impacted and slowed down by, you know, that crazy thing that happened in 2020. So the wait between the Japan release and worldwide release may actually be shorter this time around than it was for Last Evolution. Of course, subscribe to the channel for updates on this movie and when you can see it. We technically do not know if the movie will be dubbed in English, but both Tri and Last Evolution received dubs. And while it's true that the latest Digimon game, Digimon Survive, as well as the new anime Digimon Ghost game are currently Japanese only with English subtitles, in 2022 Digimon did announce that the 2020 Adventure reboot series is going to be dubbed in English in the near future, so Digimon is definitely not finished dubbing their stuff in English for the West. I think there's still a very strong chance that this movie gets an English dub. So for the second half of the video, I want to really nerd out and talk about what I'm hoping to see from this movie, loose threads from 02, Tri, and Kizuna, certain Digivolutions I want to see in this film, and more thoughts. But before we do that, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Buyee, who wants to give you a $20 coupon off of some anime merch. Buyee is a proxy shipping service, which means they make all kinds of Japanese exclusive merch available available to you wherever you are. All the toys and games I used to see online but knew I could never have growing up in Canada because they were Japan exclusive, those days are a thing of the past with sites like Buyee, who are letting fans all over the world shop on Japanese storefronts like Rakuten, Mercari, and Amazon JP. You select what you want, Buyee essentially will buy it on your behalf and sends it to you wherever you are. So whether you want retro games or new games like Digimon Survive, maybe you want vintage toys like stuff from the 02 era, or brand new anime figures like stuff from Dragon Ball Super Superhero, Buyee has it all. There's even a special offer for viewers of this channel. If you sign up to Buyee for the first time using the link in my description, you're going to be getting a 2,000 yen coupon for your first order. That's around $20 US off an order approximately, just for signing up and just for being a fan of this channel. The link, of course, will be in the description for you to sign up. Thanks to Buyee for sponsoring the video. Now back to the discussion. Okay, so the big thing for me, no beating around the bush, if this is a 02 movie, I am gonna need to see armor evolution. Not even new armors per se, but I'm super eager to see Flamedramon, Digimon, Halcymon, and the others on screen again, especially with the beautiful animation we got in Last Evolution. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I vastly prefer the armor forms over the traditional evolutions the 02 Digimon got in that season. Sure, X-Vmon is cool, but Flamedramon and Raydramon were always 1000% cooler in my mind, and just more inventive designs. Last Evolution brought back the 02 monsters and even let us see them in their champion form, so we've already seen them once in the modern era, and it doesn't have to be one or the other. I'd be happy to see both armor and traditional evolutions in this new movie. There are so many great forms to bring back that it might actually be a challenge to fit them all into one movie that's probably going to be 2 hours or less. It would also be great to see a canon animated armor evolution for Wormmon. I know the card game, for example, explores some armor evolution paths for Wormmon, but I would love to see an officially animated, canon form for Ken's Wormmon, just to give his partner an armor form like all the others have. There's also DNA Digivolution / Jogress that we can't forget about. This played a huge role in the later parts of 02, and just like armor evolution getting ignored in Last Evolution, Jogress was not acknowledged in that film at all, aside from, Omegamon, Omnimon obviously. Granted, that movie had bigger fish to fry, and we should be happy we got the 02 kids at all, but since The Beginning is their movie, I would hope to see Jogress showcased, whether it's brand new forms or revisiting the classics. I know the Digimon 02 fans watching are all probably hoping that this new movie finds a way to acknowledge the Dark Ocean plotline and everything that happened with Kari in that one very strange episode. It's long been understood that there was some shuffling around as it relates to story direction in 02 while it was airing, and that the writing team pivoted away from the Dark Ocean stuff, but it resulted in curious fans kind of making the Dark Ocean this mythical what if on the internet, fans only speculating what could have been. We got a little nod to these characters in Last Evolution Kizuna, but as this is a 02 movie, I would love to see Willis, Terriermon, and Lopmon return in some capacity. Whether it's another short scene like the ones of Catherine and the Poi brothers, or a more extended scene like a full-on reunion with Willis, in my mind he is one of the 02 Digidestined. He and Ken never actually met, mind you, since Ken wasn't included in the Hurricane Touchdown trip to the USA, so it could be a blast to see these two characters meet as they both have great rivalries with Davis. And lastly for me, there's one other big wish I have personally for Digimon Adventure 02 The Beginning, though it is dependent on the film being dubbed in English. If this movie gets an English dub, I'm hoping and praying that Brian Donovan returns to play Davis this time. To me, Brian's take on Davis is one of the most iconic voices in all of the English Digimon franchise. It's right up there with Joshua Seth as Tai for me, and I was devastated when it turned out Brian Donovan couldn't return for Last Evolution Kizuna. The saddest part was that reportedly he wanted to be in the movie and was set to reprise the character, as he still is a working voice actor, but there was a complication with his home studio in those early days of working from home, and he was unable to record the voiceover lines. And since there was such a rush to get the recording done during that time, the production just had to move on without him and recasted Davis for Last Evolution Kizuna. So with Davis and the gang officially being the main characters of this new film, there's nothing I want more than to hear Brian Donovan shout Vmon again, maybe even shout Digi Armor Energize, in that super weird way that was clearly meant to try and match the Japanese animation's lip flaps. So that is everything we know about Digimon Adventure 02 The Beginning, and everything I'm hoping to see from the new movie. Of course, this is set in the original 1999 canon, not the 2020 reboot universe. Part of me is kind of surprised to see more stories in the original timeline, especially since Last Evolution Kizuna was such a strong send-off to those characters in that storyline. This movie doesn't rule out the possibility of a 02 reboot project set in the Adventure 2020 universe, like a new show after Ghost Game wraps up, though there are currently no plans, announcements, or rumors to indicate that a 02 reboot is coming. If you did want to hear how I would personally write a Digimon 02 reboot story set in the universe of Digimon Adventure 2020 that has to follow the lore and the world building of the 2020 reboot show, I have a video on my channel you can check out. I'll put that in the description and the comments. Let me know what you think about Digimon Adventure 02 coming back with the new film The Beginning by leaving a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new so you don't miss anything. If we hear a release date or get new info, you can bet we'll be discussing it on the Digino. Thanks so much for watching, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.